Hello guys and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me Vulcan. Today I have for you Włochaty versus Caveman in round 1 of the first North America tournament. Today we are going to be seeing Sainte-Mère-Église Duellists, and on the allied side the 7th Armoured under command of Włochaty, and on the Axis side the Panzer Lehr. So this is an interesting matchup, especially on this map. It's one that I wouldn't expect the Panzer Lehr to come in on, but still there is some opportunity to make use of some of the fast moving units and great recon that the Panzer Lehr have in Phase A. On the side of the 7th Armoured, it's kind of the same deal. You do have the 3-star Stuarts if you bring in command with them. You've got quite a lot of good mobile units like the Staghounds and the Cromwells. So I think both sort of divisions in at least Phase A have a reliance on those sort of fast units and high veterancy units. So on the side of the Panzer Lehr, I want to see like Pumas early on because they can deal very well with a lot of the armor that the 7th Armoured can present early. And then on the side of the 7th Armoured, you want to see things like the Stuart 5 recon tanks because, again, they're very high veterancy and exceptionally good for breaking through light armor, which technically the Pumas are. So let's have a look at what's actually going down. Włochaty going to be investing in 2 of those Stuart 5s with the recon. He's got some Desert Rats for the top side with the Stuart Recce and the recon squad there. It's also going to be the M5 half-track with the motorized rifles. For the town in the centre, it's going to be 2 Desert Rats with a command. And on the bottom side, just the M5 half-track there with the motorized rifles. So it looks like this town, it makes sense that it would fall in favour of the 7th Armoured early, since they are a division that has quite strong close-range infantry in those Desert Rats. So early on, the town should be in the hands of the 7th Armoured. Late game, if it gets to Phase C, then the Pioneers from the Panzer Lehr could come back strong and try and take it, but that really depends where we're at that point. Over on the side of Caveman, he's going to be bringing in 1 Puma. Now, I believe the Panzer Lehr can get up to 3 2-star Pumas in Phase A if they take them all on their division. And I think that's something that I would definitely consider doing in this matchup, because against the 7th Armoured, these Pumas are pretty much the best bet against the armor they're going to present. So if they're managed correctly, you don't have them in extended engagements, you should be okay. Just make use of that veterancy to find the one-shots or just the criticals, which then allows you to continue firing without being under threat yourself. Either way, accompanying those units is going to be some Spear Troop for the top side, with some Panzergrenz, with a Kubel there with the command, and then we have the Panzergrenz heading towards the town. There's going to be some command there, some more Panzergrenz just going to be covering off the town with an AT gun going to the bottom side, with some recon there as well. So as you can see, Caveman's going to be doing fast move, unload, like the unload command, and then he's got shift commands for his half tracks, so that they move away from the location where they unloaded immediately. Whereas it looks like Włochaty is just going to be using unload at position commands. Probably a lot more confident that he can manage each unit individually once it gets to the location. So as you can see down here, just use an unload at position command, but then move the half track back manually afterwards rather than queuing it like Caveman Mafia is doing. So anyway, Caveman's going to get this 251 in up here. The Stuart 5s are being very aggressive though. Surprised there's no command with these, because they could definitely use it, but maybe that's just due to the infantry command being quite expensive if it's being brought in the Stuart Remes, so can't really afford it at the start. Either way, the Stuart 5 getting shots onto the 251. I'm surprised that's still alive. Surely the Stuart 5 going to finish it off. No, not at all actually. Very odd. Those normally hit the mark almost every time, but I guess with that 2-star veterancy instead of 3-star, it makes all the difference. M5 half-track going to be start engaging in the 251. It's going to definitely be up to this Puma. There's another one coming in to this top side, and a 3rd recon Stuart on the way for Włochaty though, and that's pretty big. Panzer Grenadier is going to be attacking these desert rats, but the Puma's getting itself into a pretty awkward spot. The Stuart 5 going to be going for the engagement. Can it find it? Oh, internal fragment. The Puma came out on top of that engagement. Basically disables one of the Stuart 5s. Puma's got a track wheel destroyed though, so that's not going anywhere. Leaves it as pretty much a sitting duck. One thing that Caveman could come in now with is just like an airstrike or just like a strafing run onto that Puma, pin it down, and then get the easy engagement with the Stuart 5. But here comes another Puma. That one's 3-star, sitting next to the Panzergrenadier. And you can see that Włochaty is forced to fall back from those engagements because the Pumas can be quite lethal at that sort of range. So Caveman Mafia making good use of these Pumas so far. If he can actually break through and kill off these Stuart 5s though, he will be in a very, very nice situation where he can kind of push all the way through Włochaty, regardless of the fact that he will be limited on infantry availability. The recon going to go down there though for Włochaty on that top side. That may leave him a little bit blind, but once these Stuart 5s come in and start engaging again, it should start to reveal a lot of the infantry. Motorized rifles have made a salient on the very top side. Desert Rats going to keep themselves covered by the smoke. Stuart 5, another Stuart 5 going to be coming in, and those combined may be able to take on one Puma. So if, for example, it ends up being a 2v1, then that might work out quite nicely. However, a Pak 38 are going to be arriving to try and swing the engagement in Caveman's favour, but Stuart 5 does the job, finds the one-shot kill onto the Puma, and that is exactly what Włochaty needed. Now he's got to deal with this other Puma, and it's not exactly sitting in a very nice position. It's got side armour facing. Panzergrens, however, do manage to take out the Stuart. Motorized rifles have revealed the Pak 38 arriving, but now under fire from the half-track and the Puma. Probably going to find themselves surrendered, I would assume. Yeah, they're gone. Panzer Grenadiers run on top of those. I think it's a relatively good job by Caveman so far to kind of hold back this top line, but there goes the Puma, the second Puma, 251 in a pretty tough spot. Now Caveman's almost solely relying on this Pak 38, and it misses its first shot. 50 cal fire is coming down. It's got to find the second shot, otherwise that is pretty much job done for Włochaty. I mean, it's very, very low at the moment, and the Spitfire Mark 9 going to be coming in with a bombing strike, so Włochaty definitely had the idea to use those bombers, and in this case just going to use it to get rid of that AT threat, allowing his Stuart 5s to continue their aggression. Now what has been good down towards this town is Caveman Mafia has actually found some nice engagements versus these desert rats, taking them down to 1 health. Removing as many desert rats as possible in phase A is a really good idea, because then moving into the late game he doesn't have to worry about units that are as good in close combat, so his pioneers have an overwhelming advantage. But either way, that may not matter, as the Stuart 5s are coming through strong. Take out the speed through, take out some Panzer Grenadiers on the top side. Pak 38 goes down. Panzer Grenadiers in this house are looking lonely, and it's very, very bad on the top side for Caveman now, losing both of the Pumas plus the Pak 38 just leaves Caveman in such a dodgy position here. But one thing that is interesting is Caveman's found a salient on the bottom side, is 251 in a pretty nice position, but currently being forced back by the M5 half-track. Now in general, an MG42 should pin down the M5 half-track. Well, that's actually an MG34, but either way, you can see the suppression is a lot more towards one of these M5 half-tracks than it is onto the 251. The main thing that needs to happen here, though, is Caveman needs to keep this from falling back. Otherwise, he will lose all of the ground that he's made. So nice of him to find a gap on this bottom side, but so far Włochaty has traded very, very well, and that Opel Blitz munition going down as well. That's another 50 points off the top. That's just going to die. Panzerstreck is in range of the Stuart Remy. It's going to take it out. 250-10 trying to engage the Stuart 5s now, but is going to get taken out. Panzerstreck gets mowed down by the 50 cals. Oh, this is not good for Caveman. Yes, he has this one half-track on the bottom side that's managed to find a huge amount of ground, but the Stuart 5 is on its way, and that could definitely stop that half-track in its tracks. So really up to Włochaty to just take advantage of the huge points lead he has on the map at the moment, and it looks like he will do so. Stuart 5 is going to engage this Pak 38. Pak 38's got to find the hit. It does. It takes out one of the Stuart 5s. The second one is still there though, and does have the 50 cal and 30 cal on target. Pak 38 is going to go down. Nice internal fragment for the 250-10 onto the M5 half track, but doesn't get rid of the unit entirely, which could make things irritating for just Włochaty fast moving it and finding more ground. But taking out one of the Stuart 5s is pretty big, although I'm pretty certain at this point Caveman will be running out of AT. He's used up 2 Pak 38s, he's used up his 2 Panzer Schreks in these 250-10s. I'm pretty sure you only get 2 on a card, so he's just got that one left. And then he's used up 2 Pumas, so there could be one more Puma, but maybe not. It depends if he builds it into his division. Some people don't because of the activation points, but either way 250-10 does go down. Panzer Schrek basically provides no frontline presence, so that's just going to be completely overwhelmed, and the land spawn may actually fall in favour of Włochaty at this rate. The 251 is going to come into the town here. Does actually manage to surrender an infantry unit. M5 half track now on fire at close range. 231 or 2341 going to be coming in for the 20 mil autocannon kill if the Panzergren doesn't beat it to it. That's going to just get surrendered. Stuart 5 now in an interesting position. Does manage to get the shot onto the Panzer Grenadiers here. Spitfire Mark 9 going to be coming in with the bombing strike. Looks like it's going to go for the bottom side here. Try and take out this Pak 38, or at least stun it so that the half tracks can run it down, and then the salient will fall in favour of Włochaty instead, because that half track has been dealt with probably by the Stuart 5. But it's interesting that Caveman does have a salient here. Now the 2341, oh, it took so long to aim. Stuart 5 just gets on target there, pops it, takes it out, and now +3 in favour of Włochaty. Spear Troop do go down to the motorised rifles. M5 half track still running down the Pak 38. Spitfire Mark 9 joining in with the strafing run, and Caveman in a very, very bad situation. It's not good at all. I feel like he attempted to use the right units. You know, he had the right idea, but Włochaty just managing his Stuart 5s so damn well, and has so many of them. I was actually very, very surprised. He's built a lot of them onto his division. He had 2 of the 2-star ones, and he's got 2 of the 1-star ones as well, which is a lot of Stuart 5s. Either way, another vehicle going to be going down there for Caveman. Loses that. Stuart Remy won't be able to make short work of this 251 with its 50 cal. But yeah, Caveman's not enjoying being cut off here, trying to get his half track back into a position to connect the front line and stop the +4 advantage that Włochaty has. But I don't think it's the conquest lead that matters at this moment. I mean, obviously it does matter, but it's more the fact that Włochaty has so many more troops on the ground than Caveman does, because Caveman's kind of lost a lot of the important units so far, and has just ended up trading pretty badly with what should have been quite good units. Either way, the Befehl Panzer IV is going to come in and try and save the day. It's got to find some serious kills though, a couple half-track kills, maybe the Stuart 5 kill, and then we can maybe start looking at a comeback. But 78% territory lead is not great, and I'm pretty sure this land spawn is going to be decapped anytime soon. It might already be. It's hard to tell. Anyway, Stuart 5 going to be taking out this 251. Hands 4. I'm just hoping it doesn't get killed at close range. Speed Troop really need to be put on return fire there, and maybe just try and fall back. This half track again being left in line of sight. Like, if Caveman wants to win this game, or at least attempt to win it, he's got to basically stop these vehicles from being killed so easily, and really make some work with this Panzer IV right now. But he's definitely on a short time limit. Maybe a second Panzer IV would be good to do the job. Again, these half-tracks can't really afford to just be killed off by the Stuart 5. Włochaty, though, going to be looking for the engagement with the Panzer IV. He's got it on an attack move order towards the Panzer IV now. First of all, going to take some shots at this half-track, try and get rid of that. He's going to find the kill. Going to back off until it's reloaded. And then probably go for another hit, unless he wants to try and kill these half-tracks on the bottom side, so that the infantry can't be threatened so much. Actually, it looks like he was waiting for the Spitfire Mark 9 bombing strike. Can the Stuart 5 come in and make the difference at close range? The Panzer IV is actually getting on target first. Oh, Włochaty going to micro away from that just to make sure that he doesn't get taken out. Panzer IV. Oh no, it's turned its gun. Crew wounded. Stuart 5, first one to fire, because the Panzer IV was starting to target the Desert Rats. Pinned down, taken out. Panzer IV goes down, and there goes the hope of Caveman in this one, as a +5 is secured by Włochaty. Half track goes down. Wow. Włochaty has almost killed every single unit that Caveman had on the map. That is not something you see very often. And the Spitfire Mark 9 certainly coming in handy. And well, with that Spear Troop dying, that is going to be game after 13 minutes and 17 seconds. Włochaty absolutely obliterating Caveman. And well, congratulations to him. He's going to be moving on to round 2 of the tournament. And Caveman, unfortunately, knocked down out of the running for victory in the tournament, but will continue on in the lower bracket. Now, just as an informational thing, I'm going to only be covering the upper bracket in this tournament, so it's almost going to be presented like a single elimination tournament. So we're not going to see Caveman anymore. Włochaty moving on to the second round. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it mainly comes down to the Puma versus Stuart matchup. And you can see the Stuarts came out on top. At the range they were fighting at, it's not unlikely that the Stuart 5s will win. They have an exceptionally fast aim time. And I think they have a much more balanced armor to AP ratio than the Pumas do. So the Pumas, they have a good gun, but the Stuart 5s, they have a decent enough gun to take on the full armor of the Puma, whilst the Pumas have more than they need to kill the armor of the Stuarts. Although the Stuarts, I guess, have more armor. So yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's all about that matchup, and in this case it fell in favour of Włochaty, and then the Pak-38s couldn't really do the job in the face of the Spitfire Mark 9, and then, you know, the Panzerschrecks didn't find those snipes that they needed to. I mean, Pak-38 did take out one Stuart 5, but just look how much damage these did. It's just ludicrous how much they dismantled this division. And then on the side of Caveman, yeah, the one Pak-38 kill onto the Stuart 5 was nice, but it wasn't enough, and the Panzer IV didn't really find any kills at the end there. So, unfortunate for Caveman, but congratulations to Włochaty showing his strength once again. Thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.